to start with our first seated exercise. You want to sit on the edge of a chair or a seat that you feel like is not too low so you're having to rock forward to stand up, but not too high that you don't feel a challenge. Feet are just a little bit wider maybe than shoulder width or around there. Knees pointing right over the feet pointing forward. Nice and firm and nice and safe, not feeling slippery at all. Hands can be here to remind you to engage your core. Hands can be here, hands can be here. I just prefer not to push off the knees if you can help it. Using your core, draw your belly button to your spine, not holding your breath, trying not to rock forward. Use the glutes, stand up, and control back down. And repeat, up and down. Okay, let's do a few. Good, keep breathing. Okay, next up we have scrunchers. So these are for the muscles on the inside, the layers of your foot in here that help with stabilizing our foot and ankle, preventing falls. This also will help you with your plantar fascial pain and walking longer distances. So our feet are on the ground, everything is touching. I want you to slowly dome your foot, scrunching it all in and out. Good, let's go for it. 1, 2, good, keep going. Hold and hold. And relax. Good. Next, we're going to move on to our standing exercise. So we're going to have 3 while standing. So use a wall or a counter for support. You can try a chair, but your chair might slide, so something a little bit sturdier, like a wall or a counter. First thing we're going to do is rises. So with your heels together and toes together, pointing towards the wall, using the wall just for balance, keeping your knees tight, you're going to rise up as high as you can, lifting your heels as high as you can, and control back down. When you're doing this, make sure the weight is over the middle of your foot. You don't want your weight over to where your pinky toe is, or too far on where your big toe is either. You also want slow, controlled movement. Our next move on the wall, you're going to be lifting up your toes. We're going to be lifting our forefoot without hinging our hip back. So this is the incorrect way, as opposed to that, You want to think of lift on the spot. Lift. Lift those toes up. Let's do some. Up. Up. Good. Good, and our last exercise on the wall. Our last exercise on the wall is going to be a wall push-up or a wall plank, depending on your comfort for the day. So, depending on how you're feeling, you might want to walk back a little bit, but not too far away where that as you lean forward, you might feel like you might slip. So a good amount of distance. Right now, I'm about an arm's length. I put my arms a little bit wider. My elbows, when they bend on my wall push-up, are going to stay pointing down. You can point them to the side. It's a little bit harder on your shoulder, a little bit less stable in that position, so you might want to keep them down for now. Okay, keep your core engaged. Pull that belly button to your spine, only about 20%, and keep breathing. Let's go. Our next set of exercises are lying on your back. If this doesn't feel comfortable going to the floor, try going on your bed, but if your bed is too soft, you may be flexing and curving too much. It may feel uncomfortable. Usually with stenosis though, flexion does feel better, so the bed might not be the worst idea ever. Okay, let's start. We're gonna start with some pelvic rocking. Think of your pelvis, your two hip bones here, as 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock on the left. Down at the bottom of your pelvis is 12, and up at the top, maybe closer to your belly button, is 6. Let's start by just rocking. Rock towards 6, rock towards 12, rock towards 6, rock towards 12, rock towards 6, rock towards 12. Good. Let's do some more of these. Okay, from here, I want you to be pressing into your heels as you rock towards 6, and then try to lift the glutes off. Lift that butt off the floor just a little bit. Start small and start with what feels comfortable and controlled. I want you to work your way up higher and higher each time until you've reached that maximum. Whatever you feel like that maximum is for that day and how you're feeling that day. If you're feeling good, put your hands on the floor, and you can start to do some gentle glute bridges. Good. Keep working on those glute bridges or that rocking, depending on how you're feeling. If this feels good, keep going there. If you'd like more of a challenge, pause at the top of your glute bridge and control back down. Roll it up. Pause, breathe, keep that core engaged, and back down. Continue here if you'd like, or come up, pause, and we'll try some marching, gentle marching, just lifting the heels at first, and then lifting to the toes, and then we're gonna try marching on the spot. Good, if that feels good, let's finish off a few more full glute bridges or rocking, whatever you feel good today. From here, let's move on to our next floor exercise. We're going to work on tabletop. So we want to try to get our legs into this position with our shins flat. So my shin is parallel to the floor and I'm just lifting it up. Let's start by lifting one leg at a time. Keep that core engaged. You want all the control of the leg to come from the core muscles. Keep that core engaged, but not 100%. Just turn it on what you need. If this feels good, keep going here. If you'd like more of a challenge, bring up to tabletop, and we're going to do toe taps. One leg at a time, controlling with that core. Pulling that belly button to our spine, feeling that control in our lower back. Keep breathing. Remember, don't turn on the core 100%, just what you need. Good. Keep going on whatever you're working on, and if you'd like the challenge, you can try the dead bug. Opposite arm stretches. Opposite leg stretches. Keep that core engaged. Don't hold your breath. Take a break whenever you need it. And let's do one more on each side and call it a day on this. Good. Last exercise, whatever you're working on. And bring it down. Good. Next up, we're going to work on our door frame exercises. So I've got 3 exercises here to work on the muscles and the motor patterns to work on walking. So number 1, let's face actually our door frame. I like to grab both the inside and the outside for a little bit of extra stability because we're going to try standing on one leg. From here, I want your toes pointing forward, feet parallel, no turnout. You're going to lift your leg to the side just gently and back down. Lift to the side and back down. You may notice your weight wants to shift. Just shift your weight onto one leg at the start and then work on that. Lift and down. Lift. Good. Make sure not to turn that leg out as we lift. Kneecap and toes pointing forward. Let's do a few more. Good. Switch to the other side. Transfer your weight onto the other foot. I like to readjust so I can stay center in the door frame for safety and balance. And then I lift my other leg now, keeping my toes and my knees pointing forward. Up and down. Good. Again. Lift and down. Not sure if you can see my back leg, but lift, just so you can see what's going on. Good. Let's do a few more. Good. Okay, next we're going to use our door frame like this. Standing with our feet fairly close to each other because we're going to be shifting our weight side to side. Use the door frame as support. Whatever way feels most comfortable and supported for you, you may need to check how far into the door frame you are. What we're going to work on is marching on the spot. We want to work on changing our motor pattern from going side to side to engaging our core and using our glute so we can use those glutes as opposed to shifting our weight and stacking on our bones. We want to use our glutes so we don't need to shift as much, but we're using that muscle control. Okay, so hands at the side, feet sturdy and ready, and lift one leg, other leg. Focus on minimizing your shift. You're still going to have a lot, that's okay. Little bit by little bit. Minimize that shift. So I'm going to remove all of my shifts so you can see what it looks like. I'm using my core, I'm using my glutes, and I'm using the wall too. Eventually you can put fingertips and you'll feel a little stronger. Let's do a few more reps. Use that core to lift that leg nice and high. Good. Good. Okay, the last thing we're gonna work on is the step up motion. So it's gonna help us with stairs and with walking. So I'm using a yoga block here. It's wrapped in plastic. You wanna take your plastic off. You want it to be the least amount of slippery as possible. Keep in mind you never wanna step near the edge as it may tumble. Anything that gives a bit of an elevation that's also safe to step on is a great idea to use. So I'm gonna place the mat here, the little block here. I'm gonna place my foot in the center of the block, and I've got my door frame here to assist. Instead of leaning forward, pulling my weight forward to stand up, I really wanna try to drive with the glutes and the core. Belly button to spine, keep breathing, feel my glutes, and then here we go. Step up and back down. Good, you wanna control your way up and your control back down. Last one. Good, and switch legs. Here we go. Keep breathing. Make sure your core is engaged. 2 more. Last one. Good.